our last speaker of the afternoon. Yeah, that's a special place. Yeah, so we have Miss Kimi Avary coming up. 3 keys to being a star in love and beyond. So a great way to end our day. We've had a lot of other information, and this will just be a great way to cap it all off. She's already shared that 80 to 90% of relationship problems stem from our misunderstandings of how the masculine and feminine dynamics play out in our relationships, both personally and professionally. Let's welcome up Miss Kimi.
The room is silent. You're sitting on opposite sides of the room. Again. You are heartbroken because you cannot imagine giving up this love that you hold so dear. But you don't know what to do. How many of you would love to have a great relationship? Thank you. How many of you have challenges and wonder if it's even possible? Yeah, thank you. My name is Kimi Avary, and I am a relationship navigation specialist. And as you just heard my credibility, I've been doing all kinds of things my entire life. I found my first church when I was 5 years old. I have been studying spirituality. I am a certified NLP health certified master practitioner. My experience with counseling psychology, bachelor's in family studies, all of those pieces of information were fabulous. They helped me get a lot in my life, except my relationships weren't working. I dated lots of great guys. I always wanted to have the standard fairy tale where I would meet the love of my life, have a family, and of course have the amazing career, because as a feminist woman, I was raised to believe I could have it all, right? And it wasn't working. And at 36 years old, I was heartbroken, another failed relationship, and I didn't know how to turn it around. My friends would laugh if I ever told them I was jaded. I was more jaded than I could have ever imagined. I was so heartbroken. And I went to 2 weddings of men I was deeply in love with, and I watched them marry other women. I was their buddy. How many of you have ever been in the buddy zone, right? What I know now is that hunters, that's the masculine energy, don't date other hunters, right? And so I'd gone to Mills College. I'd learned how to be a strong, powerful woman and not need a man. In fact, I had a t-shirt that said, "A woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle," that my brothers had given me, and we thought it was really funny. Well, all these great guys that I watched them marry other people, they couldn't contribute to me. And now what I know is that men need to be able to contribute to you. And as strong, powerful women, in fact, my book over there, I forgot to bring it up. If someone would grab it for me, I'd love that. There's a chapter in there called The Bulletproof Woman, Dissolving the Shields Between You and Love. And that's about opening your heart. It's about opening your heart so that you can receive the love that you deserve. So, I'm married. I've been with my husband for 10 years, and we've been married for 6 years. I've got a pretty great life now. And it wasn't always that way. All of this experience that led me up to a moment where I took a course that changed my life. I began studying about men from a masculine perspective. It was amazing. It was amazing. And now in my work, I help men and women to understand each other better, personally and professionally. I just launched a program last year at Shell Oil for the women engineers and the male engineers. It was incredible, and the corporate world needs it. The book I'm writing now is called Super Genius Teams, how men and women can work together, communicate successfully, collaborate successfully, create successfully projects, and increase the bottom line. And I'm passionate about my work because it's changed everything for me. So I want to give you 3 amazing things on how to be a star in your relationship, okay? The first challenge that we face to being a star in our relationship is that we make assumptions, okay? We all do it. It's natural. There are about 950 trillion bits of information coming into our brain every single day, give or take a few, and we're hardwired as animals to look for the negative. We're hardwired to look for the problems, not do that again, and log it in our brain. And out of 950 trillion bits of information, you think there might be something positive in there? 1 or 2, right? So it's our job to pull back the assumptions and become curious, and we'll get to that in a minute. But what assumptions do, typically women look at men as hairy, misbehaving versions of ourselves. Men are in trouble because they're doing things we would never do, or they're not doing the things we would absolutely do. Why is this a problem? Because as women, we're looking at them as a version of ourselves. We're making assumptions about how they should be. And because they're men, they don't fit into those assumptions, right? Men typically look at women as smaller, emotionally indulgent versions of themselves. Ladies, how many of you have ever had a man tell you, you're being too emotional? Yeah, thank you. Now, again, there's the assumption. The masculine energy typically doesn't trust emotions, and I'm going to talk about masculine and feminine. We all have masculine and feminine within us. A man is not just a man and all masculine, and a woman's not just a woman and all feminine, right? And what Julie was talking about just a minute ago, which when our brains are, like as women, for instance, when we're in masculine mode, it's not our natural state. We can do it, but men typically have between 16 and 36 times more testosterone than women do. So men's single-focused drive, provider, protector, out in the world, creating, that energy has the testosterone to keep it going. The feminine energy doesn't have that to keep it going. And you know where it comes from? Your adrenal glands. Dr. Don Colbert says, excess cortisol and adrenaline sear the body the way acid sears metal, which causes chronic fatigue, stress. Your immune system, if you're in fight or flight, your immune system is down. How many of you have known women who get to be around in their 40s and start to have real serious energy level problems? That's part of it, a huge part of it. A lot of women will suffer fertility issues because of that. So how does assumptions tie into this? Well, if I've have a mistaken assumption about the other person, then I might get angry. And from that angry place, of course, that, add on adrenaline and cortisol, you're adding that to the mix, and then you're even more upset. So that doesn't serve you to be a star in your relationship, right? Can we all agree on that? That's going to undermine it. So my invitation to you is to literally step back to what I call the inception point. It's sort of like imagine zipping back through the universe, through time to the beginning. And then from that place, you're clearing the slate so you can look at who somebody truly is. You can actually step into being curious. But you have to first, this is the only place I say make assumptions. Make the assumption you don't know what they're talking about. Make the assumption that maybe they don't understand you. Have you ever been to a foreign country where you ask questions, you're curious, you speak more slowly, you maybe change your words around, right? By doing that, then you have the ability to communicate. I was on a boat one time in the Mediterranean with some Greek women, and I didn't speak any Greek. They spoke not a word of English, and we spent 16 hours on a boat together, and we managed to communicate. Communication is a choice, right? It is a choice, and you can step back and become curious about the other person, the other people, whether it's in your personal life, your romantic relationship, or in your professional life. So, stepping back to that inception point where you're clearing the slate and you become curious about the other person. And this is critical to making your relationship work. And the third thing is what I call the dirty little secret of relationships. The dirty little secret of relationships is that we typically are not clear about what we need until we are really upset. Ladies, anybody? Right? So one of my clients said she went from like a level 3 in intensity to a tantrum at 10 or 11. And what happens when we're trying to communicate with men from that frame of reference is that all they see is this storm. And they go, whoa, I don't know if I can talk to you. And now there are men, like in my program, the real truth about successful communication between men and women, it's really the foundational piece. And I'll be telling you about that in a minute. But in that program, it's like, guys, you need to understand this about women. Gals, you need to understand this about men. Back and forth, back and forth. Because once you have those pieces, that building block, then you can begin to understand how to ask a question and how to listen so that you get the gems of wisdom that the other person has, that you're craving. Guys often are labeled as non-communicative, non-emotional, but the truth is they're deeply emotional. And we don't get those gems often because we don't hold the space for them to share. So we've covered a lot of information. I sort of like to see my material kind of as a hologram. There's so many directions that it can go in, and it's that you can look at it, and it's really, really important information. To me, I call it up-leveling feminism. It's where we're coming into conscious partnership. And all of the things we've been talking about is instinct, and what we want to get is to spirit. This is what I call consciousness. My business is called Conscious Couples Network. And it's all about up-leveling our relationships. And masculine and feminine live in instinct. Up here in spirit, not so much. But you can be the most spiritual person in the world and get tripped up if you don't understand the masculine and feminine dynamics and how they play out. What would it mean to you to be able to have a delicious conversation where each of you and all the people you're with feel heard and listened to? I mean, you've been in those kinds of rooms, right? I mean, we're all pretty spiritual here. We've been in those rooms from time to time. But what if that could be your partner at home? What if that could be your best friend? What if that could be a new person you meet because you know how to draw them out? So what the real truth is all about is how men and women communicate differently and what to do about it to get to what I call sacred listening. Sacred listening is so powerful because what men will say when a woman has really listened to them this deeply, I've never told anybody that before. Wow, that's all I have to say about that. And so many men that I work with have never, ever been listened to. And then women, when our guy is set up to listen well, he gets to be your hero. He gets to win by providing what you need. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kimi.
Okay, so Cynthia Welsh. Do we have Cynthia? Oh, come on up. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, you come straight up. I love that. Okay, let me get the microphone. And would you mind sharing?
My glasses, so I'm going to have you.
Oh, okay. Then I will let you meanwhile.
I can introduce myself. I
And-
know who I am.
Yeah, we would love that. So who are you, Cynthia?
I am an aspect of divinity. No, I'm Cynthia Welsh. I'm a holistic health counselor, independent counselor. I own Vibrant Energy Center as a healer, and I'm an ambassador for SOAR. So,
And do you mind sharing what SOAR is?
SOAR is sounding our authentic resonance. So it's really helping women around the world to bring out their truth and their voice. And I'm collaborating with Jan on this.
Beautiful.
So.
Great, thank you. You want me to read the question? Okay, this is so on brand for what you just shared. I love that. So how can women worldwide empower each other to speak our truth and dissolve the barriers that disempower women? How to create connection, support, collaboration, and trust. Do you want to add anything to that, or is that the complete question? Okay. So what comes to my heart is we start with ourselves. And it's heart by heart, life by life. We're willing to step forward, to do the center stage, be vulnerable. That's how we start to break down those barriers and show that it's safe, it's okay. And then we grab a sister and lovingly, we don't yank them, but we step forward together. And we start a chain around the world. But it's heart by heart, it's life by life, voice by voice. And it's us being willing to bloom, to show our beauty, to show our authenticity, to show our message and share it with the world instead of holding back. So it starts with us.
All of us, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are.
Oh, love it. Beautiful. Thank you. Oh, do you want fairy dust?
Oh, yes. Sprinkle
Okay.
with
Describe
everything. All
your
right.
fairy dust.
I want a crystalline,
Okay.
prismatic. So it reflects all the beauty and colors of the world.
Uh-huh.
And angelic chime music.
Mm-hmm. And
And
we have music. I love it.
yeah, all the floral scents that just inspire and bring love. Yes, so Jan's going to sing for us and inspire me with the angelic sound.
Oh, I love it. It's part of the fairy dust. Beautiful.
And just that soothing quality of kind of being rocked and held. Yeah,
Okay.
supported.
Okay. So we're ready. Jan, do you want to come forward?
Yes, Cecily, be the voice of the angels here.
Okay. Great.
Heaven's gate.
Cynthia. Beautiful.
We all have heavenly voices. Let's begin to hum. Bring down the colors.
Oh, all the colors, all the prismatic crystalline colors, reflecting all of our vibrational energies here. Yes.
Take it in our hearts. Breathe it in. Good teamwork.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Stop waiting for someone to say, yes, you can wear that. Yes, you can try that. Yes, you now can take center stage. And in case it would support you to give you permission, now is your time. This is your day. I want to invite you to, instead of waiting for someone to say take stage, waiting for someone to say yes, let's figure out where you start and stop. I want you to embrace it and stretch and find out. Discover that with joy.
I'm going to repeat Cindy's opening lines because that is why I'm here today, to call all of you who are divine messengers. This is your time to step up and shine. So I would like to, well, first I'll define what a divine messenger is. That is a speaker or a leader who has an inspired message from your heart that you really want to share. It's time for all of us who are messengers to step out and shine, to give your message, because what we do now really counts. This is the time to bring all the systems online, your body, your heart, your mind, and your spirit, because all that is going to be needed.
So now we have a tool to determine yes and no and prioritize. Because when we're looking at stretching, does anyone know what happens when we start going outside of our comfort zone? It gets a little scary. So isn't it important to have that clarity and know so that you're doing the next scary, stretchy thing that you're supposed to be doing? And that can give us some confidence as we go through that. So I'm going to talk about fear. I'm intimately acquainted with fear for many, many years. And I want to let you know how to work with it versus fight it. So we're going to talk about that today too, because it's important as we're shining. When you come up and you're seen, you can also be a little bit more vulnerable. And to really be seen, that means taking off the mask, the role, the uniform, however it is that we hide, because we frequently can hide in the public eye too. And that actually keeps you separated from the very people you're called to serve and connect. So when I'm saying shine and be seen, I mean with the mask, that protective layer off. Each of you are beautifully and wonderfully made. You're absolutely needed just as you are. Now, not someday. You're needed now for such a time as this. I just want you to breathe that in. It is truth. Please welcome our Summer Star 2016 Success Panel. Woo!
My life has changed astronomically. My income just tripled. I have the job of my dreams. I've always wanted to be an operations manager as well as an accountant, and that's what I'm doing for a Silicon Valley firm, so I'm right there in the thick of things. So I jump up on Monday mornings and I'm like, what are we going to do today? This is great. So with Rebecca's help, I now have a radio show called Momentum Mondays.
I just love that she is helping me come out and shine. And that's exactly what is happening with me right now. Last year, the first shine was my event in December. Yes. And Sumaya said that it was a magical event filled with soul food. Thank you, Sumaya. And Empress Iris said it was heart opening and soul awakening.
From me being an event planner who hid behind the curtain, literally, to being a virtual assistant that was always in the background. She helped me go through the change from that to what I'm doing now, which started out as a dare to dream. However, it took people like Rebecca, and very much so you, who helped me to overcome that, to really begin to see the leader within me at every step of the way. So I don't know how I would do this journey without her, and I thank the Lord that she's with me every step of the way.
Thank you.
Is laughter important to infuse into all professions, and why? And it tinkles like little angel bells. It smells like lotus, jasmine, rose, and gardenia. Thank you.
I love it. I love it.
So many of you know me as a priestess of promotion. It's my new tagline. You like that? Yeah. Me too. Thank you. Are you ready for some PR magic? Good. because I want to share with you in this time some powerful tools that will support you with your publicity, with getting your word out. You know, Rebecca said something really interesting earlier, and I want to address it now, and that is, who feels that they're a best kept secret? You are messengers, and messengers need to get their word out, and publicity is one of the primary marketing strategies that will support you to get more increased visibility so that each one of you can take your message out and really impact the world. Good?
I know everyone, my auntie was a warrior. My grandmother always told me, never settle and never give up. So many people do not start a business, become an entrepreneur, or believe in their dreams because of money. I didn't believe in the world. I turned against everything because I felt like I was just one of them that was nothing. I was dull. I wasn't shining. Rebecca helped me get my light back and shine. And she's a blessing to me, and I am excited and overjoyed. I'm going to explain a little bit to you. Your mindset will take you wherever you need to go. Your mindset will let you live to make your passion come alive and make your purpose take you into your destiny. Publish and help someone else publish their book. I said, if you let me be able to publish my book, I will help someone else. When my book became an Amazon bestseller, that's exactly what I did. Before you know it, I was helping other people. I believe in you. My grandmother always said, you're a winner and you cut from a different cloth. Become your rock star, motivate your mind, and be who you are destined to be. And that is a winner in life. That's a winner with purpose. That's a winner with passion. That is a winner with perseverance.
We have areas of our brains and ways that we use our brains that is unique to you. It is your strength. It is difficult for you to do it because it takes extra thought. You see, you have your natural way of folding your hands, your natural way of folding your arms. It doesn't take much thought. But to do it the opposite of where you're naturally gifted to be, it takes more thought. And every single thought requires glucose, micronutrition, and oxygen in your brain. It is no different than your natural gifts and your personality. This is what I teach. I help people to understand how their unique gifts are tied up in 5 facets to the brain-personality connection.
Are you feeling supported by money or separated? Just kind of check in. And then let's go a little bit deeper with that. What is your relationship with money? Is there one? Relationship question mark? Or is it thriving? I can't wait to get together with my best buddy Money and we're going to create an amazing world. Thriving. The next question is, where would you like it to be? Yeah. I said, it's a courageous act to lean into something like this that makes you uncomfortable. I'm deeply humbled and honored that you would open this vulnerable place with me. And the more you open up, the more I can help. But I want you to know I hold you in deep respect and honor to be able to walk beside you in this. So if you're hearing those things, it's not coming from me. And in fact, I would like to remove them from our conversation. We cannot go back in time, but by golly, we can go forward and pave a new way. So I want to encourage you to take that truth in. From my heart to your heart, a financial advisor, a businesswoman, this is true. And I found I worked with people that were just starting up to multimillionaires. And it was the same conversation, the same discomfort. So if we do not heal our relationship with money, we don't learn how to be in a different way with it, it will not shift and change. We've got to lead that in our businesses. We have to lead it in our money, personal and business.
How many of you would love to have a great relationship? My name is Kimi Avary, and I am a relationship navigation specialist. And as you just heard my credibility, I've been doing all kinds of things my entire life. Always wanted to have the standard fairy tale where I would meet the love of my life, have a family, and of course have the amazing career, because as a feminist woman, I was raised to believe I could have it all, right? And it wasn't working. And at 36 years old, I was heartbroken, another failed relationship, and I didn't know how to turn it around. My friends would laugh if I ever told them I was jaded. I was more jaded than I could have ever imagined. I was so heartbroken. And I went to 2 weddings of men I was deeply in love with, and I watched them marry other women. I was their buddy. So I want to give you 3 amazing things on how to be a star in your relationship. We all have masculine and feminine within us. A man is not just a man and all masculine, and a woman's not just a woman and all feminine. Communication is a choice, right? It is a choice, and you can step back and become curious about the other person, the other people, whether it's in your personal life, your romantic relationship, or in your professional life. The dirty little secret of relationships. The dirty little secret of relationships is that we typically are not clear about what we need until we are really upset.
What I'd love for us to do is to take a moment and thank our helpers. We've had helpers that have been supporting us since last night. Brandy was one of them. She had to leave early. She had a couple obligations today, so she was so sweet to help us last night, early this morning. So she won't be here up on the stage, but you can envision Brandy here, and she received so many of your amazing hugs and appreciated that. Then we also had Alana earlier, our Snapchat expert. She did have to leave as well, so we can send her love and energy and thank her as well. And then we have our amazing helpers that are investing in all of you. They've been behind the scenes helping this run smoothly so I can really focus and support, and we can all just be and enjoy and get nourished. And that's possible because of these amazing individuals. Yeah. So let's thank them. And what I'd love to have you do is each come up to the center stage, introduce yourself, and then we'll give them a great round of applause because they've been behind the scenes all day. Is that fair? Are we good? Do you want to lead the charge? Yeah. For Reba?
Bring it on. Oh, I turned this off.
Oh, you were on.
You know how to turn it on. I am loud enough, all right.
Oh, you turned it off up there. Oh, I got it. Okay.
I'm free with the audio wizard that knows how to mute it.
Oh, are you going to bow? Thank you to the round of applause. Jane, come on up.
Do I get that?
It's not on.
Oh.
You can pretend. Amazing Jane Holt. Oh, it's on now. She did turn it on. If you want to announce yourself. Jane Holt.
Jane Holt.
Thank you. We're very organic towards the end.
Sorry. Well, I'm Noelle. And I'm Tish Reese.
Thank you. And then if I could have all my, I think we don't have the speaker gifts. So I will be mailing the beautiful speaker gifts to each and every speaker. It's a beautiful, thank you. I'm like, oh my goodness. So speakers, come on up. We're going to still acknowledge you. And you will be getting by mail a crystal lotus. to thank you and remind you of the day that we had together. But I apologize, I don't have it to hand to you today, but it will be coming in the mail. That's right. Lotus in your hearts. Can we give them one more amazing round of applause for pouring into us and serving us all day? And take a gorgeous bow. Thank you all for serving, sharing, and giving so generously to us today. We so appreciate it and have been filled and nourished to overflowing. Beautiful. Thank you again. And then we had this amazing MC supporting us all day. I wanted to present you and thank you. The orchid that has been collecting all of our energy and memories of today, and thank you for the amazing service today. Thank you. Thank you. There's one more group, and that's each of you. Today would not have been possible or the same if one of you had been missing. So I want to thank you for saying yes to you, for saying yes to us, for spending this time, this rich experience with all of us. You have richly impacted my heart and my life as I've gotten to connect with each of you. And I want to thank you for the blessing of being in this room, connecting with all of you. And I want to thank you for being open and authentic and powerful and willing to connect so openly with each other. What a gift it has been. And I would love for us to stand and give each other a thank you and a warm round of applause. Giving the gift of each of you to each of you. Woo! Thank you all. And with that, I would like to bring us to a close with our amazing cheer. Do you remember our amazing cheer? I'm a shining star. So let's say it. 2 hands. We're meaning to put all your loving, powerful energy in it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm a shining star. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.